What's good? This is a little intro to let you know this is what we're doing over on the Redraft channel, FFD Fantasy. We got sit starts of every matchup. It's good for your dynasty stuff too. If you haven't checked out the channel over there, make sure you come over. We're gonna put both of these wide receiver and running backs out on the dynasty channel this week for your pleasure. Make sure you're over on the dynasty channel checking it out. Right, Chev?
Yeah, listen, I'm over there just screaming into the void. So it'd be nice if you guys came over and just hollered at us for a little bit. Good stuff, good content, everything that we normally do, just doing it redraft style. So, hey, vanilla, boring missionary, but also you can use this for your dynasty matchups.
We'll see you over there. What is good? We're back. We've got week 10 sit starts for your running backs. We're going to go through every matchup, talk it out. We got a little man versus machine. So we've got the model built by your boy, Quality Stats, the P-Whopper King over here. And me and Chev have capitulated some rankings together, and we're going to tell you what we like against the machine or the model versus what we like, and we're going to run through every matchup. Chev, how you doing?
Phantasmal and ready to get into the happenings of week 10, I guess.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tucker Craft. I got to do it. I'm going to do it on every show until the end of the fucking season.
A little candle vigil.
Yeah.
Bummer. But let's get on to some running backs, help you through sit starts. And, obviously some of the more difficult questions as we get through the running backs is really the main focus here. Because I don't think you need to tell you who to start in the first matchup, which is, Falcons versus Colts, right? You probably don't need a whole lot of help there. Our bye weeks, we got Kansas City, the Bengals, Cowboys, and Titans. So, maybe two running backs there that really affect you. But for the most part, we got a lot of the big boys playing this week. So we've got Falcons, we've got Colts. Chev, what are you thinking on the Falcons side here?
On the Falcon side, we've got this is really interesting because the Colts allowed 2.01. They're 13th in the league, basically mid-range, 2.01 yards before contact allowed. It's one of those things where I feel like they're not a good run defense, but secretly they might be, but I don't feel like they are. Anyway, nothing changes. If you're desperate, you can start Tyler Algier. This is a 48.5 point over under, or 49.5, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I don't feel like I need, that's what I want to talk about, because we're not talking about, I refuse to talk about whether or not you should start either one of these running backs. Like, what are we doing?
Right. Yeah. It's a layup. You play Bijan Algier if you're desperate, really, probably not. On the away side, and then at the home side, you're gonna run Jonathan Taylor out there. I don't really care what you do, how you do it. You're not benching those guys. You can get as cute as you want and say this or that because of whatever matchup, but the model comes in with Bijan at RB5. We've basically didn't move it there. We've got him at RB5. Don't get cute. Jonathan Taylor's RB1 model wise, and for the season and forever and ever. Amen. Until something changes. Taylor didn't do his usual stuff last week. He'll probably be back at it like a crack addict on this go round. So pretty easy on matchup number one. Let's get to matchup number two. We've got the Lions at the Commanders. Chev, what are we thinking on the Lions side here?
Lock and load. This is a spot for Jahmyr Gibbs to break fantasy. This is, the Washington Commanders run defense is not, it's not horrible per se, but also we're coming off of a 5 point, I believe, in full PPR or 7 point performance for Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they like to rectify those things pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be the RB1 overall on the week this week. And David Montgomery is probably going to be a top 20 play again.
Yeah. Yeah. You were right on that one last week. I was a little lower. You were a little higher. So I like that. The model has David Montgomery at 26 and Gibbs at 2. We got Gibbs at 2. We got David Montgomery a little higher. We got him at RB21 in this situation. I think there's plenty of room to be able to play both. Like if you look at the other side, the Commanders side, between Croskey-Merritt, Rodriguez, McNichols, like I just give me David Montgomery, right? If I've got an option along those lines. For the Commanders side of things, I don't know that I really want to play any running back because I don't know which one to play because they keep playing this game of spin the wheel and put a running back in and let him get, a couple touches, and then we'll let this guy get a couple of touches. So, I don't feel super comfortable playing any which one of them. I mean, I guess you select Bill and hope for the best, but I don't want to do any of them. We've got all of them ranked fairly low this week.
Listen, this is how new people, and if you're new to this channel, this is how you start hating fantasy football. When you just pain yourself, you're going through, sifting through content. You're Justin Curry 10 years ago, just trying to figure out which one of these motherfuckers you should play. Don't play any of them. Pick someone else and let's go have some fun, because this is not fun. And I love Bill. Everybody knows.
Sure.
I love Bill, but this is not the time to do this.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, the model's putting him in tier 6 at RB33. I can't imagine we're terribly different there. So not a whole lot here. We've actually got him even lower, RB38. So not a terrible bunch of interest in, and Chris Rodriguez, lower, same area. So not a whole lot of interest on that side unless you absolutely need something, then spin the wheel and hope for the best. So moving on, we got LA at San Francisco, a little revenge game from a couple weeks ago when nobody gave the Niners a chance. Now LA's back in good terms, good shape here. So what do we think about, Kyren Williams this week?
I absolutely love Kyren this week. I mean, we just saw they played. You guys played a few weeks ago on Thursday Night Football in one of the best games, most entertaining games of the year. And Kyren went absolutely smack the fuck off. It was great. Loved it. I think that's going to happen again. This game probably going to shoot out. We got George Kittle back in the fold for the 49ers run game. That has been gangbusters. So I think Kyren's a great play this week. I mean, we're talking about a 49.5 point over under. We're talking about one of the best run blocking offensive lines. Unfortunately, I did see the thing on Twitter where it said that I think the 49ers are actually sacrificing a player a week to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy. Maybe. So, this game has shootout written all over it. And, I mean, this is the 5th rated run blocking offensive line. They average 2.28 yards before contact per attempt. That's like top 10 in the league. And there's just not enough bodies over there, bro. I don't think there's enough bodies for San Francisco to be able to really put up a lot of fight to stop what's going to happen in the trenches. Kyren Williams, 25 for 114 and a touchdown last week. Yeah, I'm pretty locked in on Kyren being, I mean, he's a must start, but this is ceiling outcome potential here.
Yeah, run game was kind of working a little bit for for the Giants last week, and then just kind of started to get away from them. They had to turn in another direction. So soft run defense for San Fran, and no real additions at the trade deadline here. They brought in the guy from the Patriots last week. So in addition, but they keep losing guys. They lost Michael this week, right? And so unfortunately, yes, this is a smash spot for Kyren. Really nobody else. Kyren's coming in model at RB11. We've got him at RB10. Then the other side, I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey's stud. Play him. He's heading for a career amount of touches. Absolutely ridiculous. Just past Marshall Faulk, I think, for maybe most games with a passing and receiving touchdown in a row, or some insane stat there. So, and Brian Robinson probably not playing him. Blake Corum on the other side probably not playing him. Both guys are just mostly workhorses, and they're going to be leaned on, I think, heavily in this matchup. So.
Hey guys, quick reminder. If you haven't signed up for the free Discord or the free Patreon, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description.
All right, let's keep it moving. We got Buffalo at Miami. James Cook going to get back on his horse?
Yeah, I think this is a get right spot. I mean, he's historically crushed the Dolphins. So I think we get back to that this week. I don't think that there's any way, shape, or form that James Cook isn't going to be like a top 5 play. and absolutely deliver for you. I know it's been a quiet couple of weeks. I understand that. Those are the ebbs and flows of fantasy football.
Yeah.
But one of the flows is when you get to play the Miami Dolphins run defense. We just saw Derrick Henry light him up. It's, if I'm not mistaken, James had a pretty strong game against them in week 3 or 4 earlier this year. So this is just, hey, I see the Dolphins. I see dollar signs. This is wheels up for James Cook this week.
James Cook coming in at model RB4 tier 1. We got him in the same spot. This is an awesome spot for him. You probably don't want to play any other, Ray Davis or I'm drawing a blank on the other running back over there, Ty Johnson.
Yeah, see, nobody needs to remember the third running back because they need to just give the ball to Ray Davis.
It's crazy. It's crazy that I feel like Ray had such a good year last year, and we're just not even seeing enough Ray Davis this year. I mean, Cook's been cooking, so I'm not mad at him, but I just need a little more Ray Davis in my life.
19 for 108 and 1 for James Cook versus Miami earlier this year.
Yeah, I think we're going to be and they just lost Jalen Phillips too. Another a key piece on that defensive line. On the other side, Etienne, absolute stud. Ollie Gordon, if you were really desperate, I could see him. He's ranked fairly low. Etienne coming in at our consensus rankings between me and Chev at RB8. I think the model has it a little lower, RB10, tier 2, but anytime Etienne is basically a must start every week. You don't need to know much more.
Yeah, this is another one of the matchups so we don't have to spend a ton of time on to say like, hey, play your RB1s.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Correct. All right. Next matchup, kind of similar. We've got Philly at Green Bay. I mean, we finally saw Saquon get on track here. What you got,
bro? That's just pretty much every matchup so far has been like, well, should I play Jonathan Taylor? It's just, these are some outside of the Commanders and Lions, like all of these are just like, yeah, you're going to play the running backs in this matchup.
Yeah.
And this one is no different. So Saquon, they're coming up by the Packers just got hit in the mouth by the Rico Dowdle Express. And I think that there's going to just be more of that because Saquon punished them in the playoffs last year. And I just don't think that as good as this unit started off the year against Detroit, it's just been a gradual decline, in my opinion, especially in the quality of run defense. And that is not where you want to be with a team that is as disjointed as Philadelphia appears to be offensively, because they have nuclear weapons everywhere on the field.
Right. So
it's the biggest nuclear weapon being their run game and Saquon Barkley. And I think Landon Dickerson might be back this week.
Yeah, so, we finally saw Barkley get off this past week, or the week before their bye, rather. And these are RB6 and 5. Josh Jacobs is at RB6, Saquon at RB7, in tier 2, but I mean they're tier 1 talents. So kind of is what it is there. This is another quality RB matchup here, right? So
yeah, like we're playing everybody. And on the flip side, like the Eagles defense hasn't been as stingy against the run. Shout out to Milton Williams and all the depth pieces that they lost that actually really mattered, that we talked about.
Imagine that
early in the season.
Yeah.
So this is a great matchup for Josh Jacobs as well.
Yeah, I agree. All right. We got Baltimore going into Minnesota, the Battle of the Purples coming in hot and heavy. On one side again, we've got a pretty easy layup here. It's Derrick Henry, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Yeah, we got it. He's coming in at RB9, and for us an RB8 on the model in tier 2. Pretty simple stuff here, but now we get to the other side of this Viking situation, and it does get a little interesting, right? We have Jordan Mason and we have Aaron Jones, who Aaron Jones in the beginning of that game looked like primetime Aaron Jones and would be the back that you want to start, but we're dealing with a potential injury situation here, and the Ravens have been getting a little tougher up front on D, right? So how do you view this matchup here for Minnesota?
Man, this is so on the Minnesota side, you've got, it looked like it was Christmas out there for a while for the Ravens. And then all of a sudden, Roquan Smith gets back and it's not sweet anymore. So this is a matchup where Aaron Jones is kind of is more of a back end RB2 flex consideration. Jordan Mason is damn near unplayable this week.
Yeah, I mean, if Aaron Jones goes, I think they can certainly cannibalize each other. I liked what I was seeing from Aaron Jones this past week. I do have Mason ranked a little higher than Aaron Jones, 2 spots apart, RB23 and RB25. That's basically if Jones doesn't play, I like Mason at 23. If Jones plays, I kind of see them canceling each other out a little bit, right? And Jones looked like the better player.
I mean, Jones historically has been the better player. So surprise, we throw him in the backfield together and he's still the better player. Like,
right.
The metrics were better on Jordan Mason last year, but he was also in a fantasy Valhalla of, run goodness with the 49ers. So yeah, this should be, I mean, I like Jordan Mason. I just don't think that as long as they're going to cannibalize each other. You put it perfectly. I don't have to say anything else about it.
Yeah. Model has Jordan Mason at RB22, tier 4, and then Aaron Jones way down here at RB35 and tier 6. So they have a big discrepancy in it. Not so much for me and Chev. If I had both of them because I drafted both of them, and Aaron Jones is healthy, I think I'd rather play Aaron Jones this week. And I needed somebody, but I think I view them rather close if both of them are playing, and it's not going to. I don't think it'll be super fun. You just hope for some check downs here or there and a touchdown for Mason or something. So, all right. We've got the New England Patriots at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and here we've got some interesting decisions at least. So on the Patriots side, we finally saw Travion kind of get a little bit of love. Didn't get the TD, but so how are we playing this Patriots matchup here this week?
I'm fine with it. Here's the thing: if Ramondre is healthy, then you just play Ramondre, and then you put Travion Henderson way back in the back recesses of your mind, like that, like all the horrible things that you've done that you think about when you lay awake at night. Like that's where you put Travion if Ramondre's playing. If he's not playing, then we can throw Ramondre, we can throw Travion back into the lineup again and just hope that he doesn't get vultured by Terrell Jennings. Yep. Those are words that if I said that, I would say this to you on September 4th of 2025, you would tell me that I was absolutely insane. But here we are. Thanks, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. Terrell Jennings, I don't believe has made the model list just yet here. But the model is looking at it as Ramondre at RB25 if healthy, and then Travion at RB32, both within tier 5 there. And the way that me and Chev were kind of looking at this was sort of like the Mason Aaron Jones thing. If one's healthy or not, we kind of put them back to back. Then, if Ramondre is healthy, RB26. If he's not, then Travion RB26 or 7. I feel like kind of swap them out a little bit. And if you really needed to pull, cord in case of emergency, I guess you could throw Terrell Jennings in your lineup here and hope for. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but at least we got to see a little bit of Travion love last week. Some catches, look better on the ground. I think personally,
it's almost like if he gets into a rhythm, he can play football well.
Yeah,
imagine that.
It's crazy. I don't think Ramondre is going to play this week, so I don't mind firing up.
I will fly to Foxborough and cut that motherfucker's toe off, just so we can get. We can call him old nine toe Mondre, just so we can get a full game of Travion Henderson.
Let's see some more Travion, baby.
I just want 19 touches, bro. Just 19, yeah. Not even 20. I'm not even going to be greedy and say 20.
Just give me 15. Give me 12 in the gut and 3 or 4, toss it to him, and I'm straight. I think he could do what he needs to do there. So that's fine with me. And I still like where he is in the ranking. On the other side, the Bucs, we haven't seen Bucky Irving in a while, and so we've ranked both of these guys back to back, Rashad and Irving. Rachaad White's been very solid in the absence of Bucky Irving. But if Bucky's back, Bucky's a stud. This is a tough matchup, though, right? So tempering expectations for both of them a little bit.
The New England Patriots allow the second fewest yards before contact per attempt, and they haven't allowed a singular 50-yard rusher this season. Right. So, again, shout out to Milton Williams.
Shout out to him. And that Vrabes just putting those puzzle pieces together in the offseason quickly to just kind of revamp this whole thing.
Yeah, got those boys chewing concrete over there, and now all of a sudden we can't run the ball anymore.
That's right. The model has Bucky at RB9 and Rachaad White at RB12 in tier 2 for Bucky, tier 3 for White. And then we've got them back-to-back at 14 and 15. So, like, we're viewing a lot of these injury situations as kind of stacking these guys up and saying, if not this, that, right? And so that's kind of the way I want to play that, kind of moving forward with a lot of these guys. So, all right, let's keep it moving. We got Giants at Bears coming up here. Bears get another dub. Giants take another L. And we thought, hey, Tyrone Tracy gonna get some love. Got to be excited about him. Devin Singletary gets much more of the workload, and I feel like as soon as we move Devin Singletary up, Tracy's gonna pull the wool over our eyes this week, right? So how are you viewing this Giants backfield this week, Chev?
Man, we were talking about it before the show started, and the biggest thing here is just that we don't know exactly what. We don't know exactly what to make of this. Now, I do think they got a wrench thrown into their game plan slightly when their right tackle, his name escapes me, Jermaine Illuminor. Yeah. He got hurt early in that game against you guys last week. And I think that threw some things off in terms of like the way that they were planning on attacking things. Check the injury reports. I know it's just kind of getting into the minutia to talk about offensive linemen and how that affects things, but I'm going to talk about it again when we get to the Chargers and Joe Alt being out for the season. So I think that's an important thing. I think that the Bears were absolutely putrid early in the season against running backs in terms of yardage allowed, yards before contact, all that stuff. TJ Edwards, and they've started to kind of meld together to put up a more formidable defense, even though they gave up, Chase Brown had 14 targets last week. I like what this run game can do if they're going to lean on one person, but I also accept the fact that Devin Singletary is just inevitable if he's going to be given a chance to earn the workload.
Right.
Like he's good.
Solid player.
Yeah. And it's just not good enough for fantasy, and he's not bad enough to actually give the guy with some juice, like some real juice that would boost our lineups, Tyrone Tracy. So, all that being said, these guys are both kind of desperation flexes to me until otherwise noted. How do you feel about that?
I'd still lean with Tracy in this just because the passing game prowess, the check downs, all those things. Tracy had an uncharacteristic drop last week. But like you said, if Singletary was going to come in here and get 18, 20 carries, he's a great start. I think he's a good running back, but they're not going to give him enough to really get that going. So for me, I think I would prefer to just roll Tracy and hope I get some catches here for that side of things. And then on the other side, with the DAndreSwift and Monangai, like if DAndreSwift doesn't play, this is an elite matchup for the running back position of who's ever playing against the Giants.
Looking for more FFD? Sign up for Patreon and get access to our rankings, projections, ADP, an extra show every single week, and more for your pleasure.
If DAndreSwift doesn't play, then Monangai moves right up. We have DAndreSwift at RB13 this week and Monangai at RB24, right? Because Monangai was still getting some okay snap percentage before this, like around 40, 45, 46, something in those range. Obviously, Monangai goes off last week, and now everybody's like, oh, is he taking Swift's job? I mean, I don't think so. How does that play for you here, Chev?
Oh, not even close. Not even close. DAndreSwift was absolutely cooking. Did Kyle Monangai probably earn himself some more series in the game like we saw last week in another game completely unrelated, but similar situations? We saw a whole drive where Blake Corum was just in the game, handling the touches, doing everything. That's probably what this evolves into. He's probably going to get a lot more snaps. He might have earned himself some more touches, but also like they were playing a team that just has no interest in playing defense. Now, They do get another, like the Giants are allowing 5.73 yards a carry, and they're giving up about 140 yards a game on the ground. So, again, if DAndreSwift is out, Kyle Monangai is probably a top 10 play this week. He runs hard. Right. He creates yards after contact.
Absolutely, it's the top 10.
I mean, it is. If you really like a physical brand of football, this is your guy. And this is everything that he put on tape when he was at Rutgers. So this is good. But also, if DAndreSwift plays, this is a potential ceiling outcome for him this week.
Right. And so when we look back and we see in week 7 and week 8, 45 and 46% snap share, right? But in one of those games, he only gets 7 attempts. In the other game, he gets 13 and averages 16.2 a carry. I think it's more along these 13 carry range than the 7 carry range of what we're going to see from Monangai this week. So I think there's some startability because I think they're just going to bludgeon them on the ground. At the end of the day, we can get so excited about Ben Johnson's offense, but what he wants to do is dominate you in the run game. Mm-hmm. And now we have 2 different styles that can do 2 different things. So I think he can come in here and just dominate the Giants in that fashion. And give Monangai and Swift still a pretty even split like we've even kind of been seeing before that, and see the more New Orleans Monangai than the Baltimore Monangai, where you saw 13 carries for 81 yards rather than 7 carries for 24 yards, around the same snap share. So I think there's some startability on both ends, but you got to monitor who starts there. I'm not scared to start either one if they're both there, but if Swift's out, Monangai just shoots up the board and is a real. I scoop and plugged him in a total point 10-man last week. Monangai did, and it was immediately in as soon as Swift was out. And I loved it. It was great. So, all right, let's go. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just to the snaps have just kind of narrowed and evened over the course of the last few weeks. Like from week 4 on, Kyle Monangai steadily gained in snap percentage up through week 8, where they were basically even. And then last week. So I do think that there's some merit. There's absolutely some merit to what you're saying of like, this could just be like, hey, one series over the other. Now that I'm looking at the snap percentages, I didn't realize that it had gone back, going back to, this has just been a steady increase over the course of the last month. So, yeah, I like that.
And Swift's just not, I mean, you can feed him like that, but like Swift's also good with, like a 13, 15, carry situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben Johnson has no problem running the ball 30 times. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is, the best version of Swift is a 17-touch Swift.
Yeah. All right, let's go Browns, Jets. We got Browns coming in. Jets are just on a fire sale, and they moved 2 of their best defensive players in Sauce and Quinnen Williams. Obviously, Sauce doesn't have much to do with the running back situation, but Quinnen Williams obviously really has a big presence on that D line as far as run stuffing, and can get sacks as well. But huge presence in the run game as well. So Quinshon, if healthy, got to be a smash this week, right?
Absolute smash. I mean, I've been charging up every single power tool in my house in anticipation of this week. Like, we're assuming that he's going to play the shoulder sprain or whatever he's dealing with going in the bye. Now, check your practice reports. I mean, but this is absolute wheels up, no pun intended, against the Jets. They're not in a position to where it's like they won a game, then they forgot that how good that feels just instantly. And we're like, we've got to tear it all down so we never experience this again. So Quinshon Judkins probably will be one of my most owned DFS players this week, just because this matchup is just, you couldn't ask for anything better. Hey, trade your best corner, then trade your best interior lineman, who's one of the best interior linemen in the league. And let's just see what happens with Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah. So Models got him at RB14, tier 3. We've got him at RB11. Shoot him up a little bit. In the chance that Judkins doesn't play, you going Ford or Sampson?
I'd go Ford.
Yeah. I think
it's just not a. It's
Sampson
not
got a little more run in that New England game, but I don't know. Neither one. Sampson's had some better success here and there, but I think they go back to Ford and try to run the ball with him. I agree.
the thing is like whenever Jerome Ford gets the ball, he does good stuff. So I default to that while also recognizing that Dylan Sampson is really good at football.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see. I wish Dylan Sampson was in a different spot and could get more run. But I think the Browns lean on Ford a little more this week. If no Quinshon Judkins. On the other side, we have Breece Hall. The model has Breece Hall at RB21 this week, tier 4. We've got him a little higher than that, RB20. So basically you're playing Breece and probably nobody else in this matchup, right? Unfortunately, Breece got the short end of the trade stick and he's got to stick around on a team that clearly seems to be having a fire sale. So that is a bit of a bummer. And Cleveland does have a good defense. But I'm still, not shying away from playing Breece Hall. He's a good player, a couple of catches, a breakaway run or something, and he still has a nice day for you. So
yeah, Breece is, I don't know what to make of this. Did you see that the Chiefs offered a 4th and they just would not?
Idiots.
Not.
Just take the 4th and keep it moving.
Yeah, bro. Like he doesn't want. That actually frustrated me today when I heard that somebody actually came calling, was like, "Hey, man, here's a 4th. Like you're
not going to pay him, or if you do, you shouldn't.
You don't want to. You're in the middle of a rebuild. You know what? It's so frustrating. I think that Woody Johnson hates Breece so much that he knows that he wants to get out of there. So he's just like, "Nah, man, I'll franchise tag your bitch ass next year too."
Yeah.
Just ruining all the nice things.
Exactly. All right, let's keep it moving. We got Pittsburgh at the Chargers in this next one. Jaylen Warren's been very solid. Kenneth Gainwell, a little bit of an afterthought here. Backfield, how we playing this one?
I mean, it's Jaylen Warren. It's we're wheels up for Jaylen Warren. Like the way that they're using their running backs, they're giving Jaylen Warren meaningful touches. They're giving him first crack at the goal line. They're handing it like he's a workhorse.
Right.
He is an Arthur Smith workhorse, which is wild because we've seen him do some wild stuff with his backfields. But this time, he was like, "Nah, I'm going to do the thing where I just give the best player in the backfield the ball." And he still didn't get it right because never mind. I'm not going to talk about it today. Why don't you tell us about?
I should have taken the Steelers. Jaylen Warren. The model's got Jaylen Warren at 15. I don't know that we really adjusted Jaylen Warren. He's at 16 because we moved Swift up a little bit. So model likes Jaylen Warren. We like Jaylen Warren. I'm probably not playing Gainwell. The model. Let's see where the model's putting Gainwell. I'm going to assume pretty low here. Yeah, 42. So on the other side, Kimani Vidal, had a rough week this past week, right? The model's putting him at RB19 in tier 4. We've got him, let's see, at RB22. So a little lower than the model. They've got Pittsburgh this week. I think Vidal can bounce back a little bit, but like you said, losing Joe Alt is never a good thing.
Yeah, it's not only that, it's just this was a cake layup matchup.
Seemed like it, yeah.
For the Chargers. I mean, the Titans, they allowed the second most explosive rush yards allowed to running backs this year. We're quite literally, like, Jeff Simmons was out. It was the perfect run out. And somehow or another, that offensive line just turned into paper mache. And then Kimani Vidal does nothing. Suck it, Matt Kelly.
The feud that won't end. All right, we got Saints at Carolina. Alvin Kamara, what the hell are we doing?
Crying in the car, crying in the shower, crying whenever you look at your lineup, crying whenever you decide after. Like, this is why the spreadsheet nerds have their little standards and stuff and talk about after a certain age, you just can't do the running back thing anymore because they're like all of a sudden in season, like Alvin Kamara looked good the first couple of weeks of the season. Am I making that up?
No, I mean, I thought he looked fine. I mean, they're just not he just doesn't have a role right now. Like it's not even like they're not even really playing him.
Right.
You know,
and they're not playing Devin. They're not giving. They're just not using. They're just opting not to use the running back position.
Yeah,
and it makes no sense. They're like, yeah, you know what we should do? More targets for Juwan Johnson, which love Juwan Johnson. No shade here, none whatsoever. But over Alvin Kamara, over Devin Neal, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Also, Derek Brown being back in the middle for the Carolina Panthers has absolutely transformed
that
defense.
Awesome.
Him and Christian Roseboom are out there snapping necks and cashing checks.
Absolutely. So the model has Alvin Kamara at RB28. We've got Alvin Kamara at RB34. Lost a lot of faith in him. I really don't want to play him if I don't have to. Like he's just a break glass in case of emergency kind of play right now, unfortunately. And I don't think it's because he's fallen off a cliff. I just think it's the way they're running their offense right now in New Orleans. And, I can't have him in my lineup if I don't have to have him in there. And then on the other side, Rico Dowdle, smash in the lineup every week from now on until anything changes. And I don't want Chuba in the lineup if I don't have to have him in the lineup. We've got Rico Dowdle here at RB12, and the model has Rico Dowdle at RB16. So we're a little higher on Rico, but how could you not be, man? This guy's been awesome when they feed him, and I don't think they're getting away from feeding him right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is just absolute carnage and wreckage. He's another guy that just runs with a level of violence that makes me irrationally excited to watch him play football.
Yeah, same. It's been great. And they made the right decision there. I think, as much as we love Chuba and gave Chuba love and, they made the right move.
Yeah, dude. I was banging the drum all off season to say, hey, Chuba is a workhorse. He's awesome. He handled 80% of the attempts inside the 5. But, I mean, Big Daddy Dowdle's in town now, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's a different world we live in.
All right. We got 3 more matchups. We're going to run through these real quick. We've got Raiders at Broncos. What are we doing on the Raiders side? We're just starting Genty, right, Chev?
Yeah. There's not much else to talk about here.
A fun matchup, but
no, it's a terrible matchup. And if you're playing Raheem Mostert, I'm pretty sure you start or end your day with a ball gag in your mouth.
Model's got Genty at RB17 because this is a tough matchup. They've been doing a good job of getting him targets, though, and that's what they're going to need to do in this one to, help your Genty stock. He's just too good. He's one of their best players. They got to get him the ball somehow. And at least kudos last week for getting 5 targets his way. That's what you're going to need to do again this week. We've got Genty at RB17 in the consensus matchup. And then on the other side, you got J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey's like kind of in that, hey, I got Alvin Kamara level player. Shoot, I might even want to play, Harvey over Alvin Kamara right now. And just because, Harvey's turning his small opportunities into TDs and getting some catches. Whereas, I don't know what Kamara didn't want to be traded and is not getting any opportunities. So I don't know. It's strange going, but J.K. Dobbins, the model has him at RB18. We're going to have him coming in right at RB18 as well. The Raiders actually are half decent run defense, middle of the pack, like around 13th best run defense. So, I think J.K. Dobbins still rock solid play. I don't think there's like some crazy floor or some crazy ceiling that comes in, but I just, I don't think you're screwing it up by playing Dobbins week in, week out right now because he's clearly got the reins of the backfield.
I mean, it's safe. It's effective. It's just, it's cash.
If it does not work, I can hit him with it. Little snatch drop for you.
Man, this is simple. This is 2 good running backs and a good offense. And then if you're considering playing Alvin Kamara, you're banking on them returning to using him. So I would take the chance on R.J. Harvey rather than just going back to the well to be hurt again by Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. All right, let's go Jacksonville, Houston. You've got Tootin and Etienne in this matchup here. How are we feeling about the Jacksonville side of things?
Not great, Bob. Not great. I mean, you got two really talented players, but you also have quite possibly the best front seven this side of the Denver Broncos in the Houston Texans. So, yeah, I can't do. I mean, Travis Etienne is 22 for like 87 last week, if I'm not mistaken. And we talked about it before the show. He looked like a man on a mission. Sometimes for whatever reason, he goes into these lulls where he's indecisive and he's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but he footballed real good last week. And I'm anticipating that he's going to play good football, but not have have a ton of room. This is a 37.5 point over under. Basil Tootin still only played 26% of the snaps. So I can't really, we can't be playing him. We're not messing around in this matchup with anything other than, the guys that you drafted early enough to feel like you have to play him.
Yeah, solid defense, and basically you're hoping for a touchdown with Tootin if you got to put him in there. But I like Etienne. The model right now has Etienne at RB23. We've got Travis Etienne at RB19. So a little more love from our side than the model. Tier 4 for Etienne coming in here. And then on the other side, we've got Woody Marks and Chubb. And look, I don't really, Chubb's kind of in that Alvin Kamara range where I don't really want to play him. He's getting a little bit of run still, 17 carries against San Fran, 11 carries against Denver. He'll come into Jacksonville here and probably get, right around low end double-digit carries. I'm more interested in playing Woody Marks at this point. I think they should just go full on for the most part. Woody Marks, give Chubb 8 to 10 carries still, but I want to see more Woody Marks action. And, there's some, hopefully more and more pass catching to come from Woody Marks here. So look, I'm playing somebody like a Woody Marks over the Alvin Kamaras of the world, the RJ Harveys of the world. Maybe even the dichotomy of Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary for a week until maybe we see something sorted out, right? I'm playing him over a Bill Croskey-Merritt. I'm playing him over a Chuba Hubbard right now, unfortunately. So, a back end guy, but there's a ceiling that can happen with Woody Marks, and there should be at least some receiving floor.
Yeah, if they just use him like a normal running back, you're going to return on investment here. I mean, this is just not the spot this is just not the best spot to do it, especially if CJ Stroud's going to be out. But I mean, he's in the same vein as an Alvin Kamara. He's in that same RJ Harvey-ish range, probably ahead of RJ. I think you mentioned it. We have him ahead of RJ Harvey and, like right there around Alvin Kamara. So yeah, it's gross, but yeah, here we are.
Here we are. All right, last matchup. We've got the Arizona Cardinals going into the Seattle Seahawks, the old Hawks nest here. And on the Arizona side, we kind of have a mess right now as whatever the rotation is. Hopefully Trey Benson can come back, get healthy, and take a lead in this backfield, and we can be way more excited about the prospect of a starting Cardinals running back. But right now, I feel like it's a mess, and I don't want a whole lot of part of it. What do you think, Chef?
I think the cheapest I was talking about Bam Knight, Trey Benson. If he comes back this week, obviously you've been waiting for the payoff for so long for all of the Trey Benson truthers, myself included. I think the guy that's going to have the most stable value that you can get onto your roster, because I'm sure people had the Trey Benson, Amari DiMercato. Mm-hmm. He's got juice. I mean, he's got open field juice. He's been used as their pass catching back. You need to, apparently Jonathan Gannon's forgiven him for the fumble. So yeah, I would consider playing Amari DiMercato just as the pass catching back. It's only they're only implied for 19.5 points. That's fine. But this could get to garbage time. I know division games are weird and this is a really competitive game, but if for whatever reason, Trey Benson doesn't come back from IR this week, Amari DiMercato has more juice than Bam Knight. He just got, doghouse and then got injured. So It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
With no Benson, DeMercado would be the guy that I'd roll the dice on. And hey, let's see if I can get the upside play here. On the other side, it's Kenny Walker at Charbonnet. You can kind of play both right now, but it's not that much fun. It's not going to be, some crazy ceiling, I don't think. But Sharbs has been the guy that's getting the touchdowns. We've got him ranked back to back here, like we've kind of done with some of these backfields that are a mess. RB28, RB29. And let's see where the quality stats model has these guys. It's got Kenny Walker at RB24, so quite a bit higher, and then Sharbs at RB31. So that's going to do it for this week. Got every matchup in for your pleasure. Chev, anything else on the way out here?
Yeah, go download the Lead Champ app, Google Play Store and App Store.
We'll catch you next time. Peace.